It is 1 o'clock, our final hour here of this Wednesday edition of Three Man Front. Appreciate everybody tuning us in. Last hour, we talked to Tyler McComas, Mike Rodak. 11 o'clock hour, Mike Gittins. 10:30, we spoke to our good friend Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider. If you missed any of those interviews, you can always download the Three Man Front podcast. Great conversation throughout the day with football. We just heard from Tyler McComas. Interesting that he once again is very positive, upbeat about Oklahoma and their potential of making the college football playoff again. 1-800-239-WJOX. That's the phone number, 205-834-9450. That is the text line. If you got a dangerous tree leaning over your house or maybe branches blocking your view, you need to call Golston Tree Service today. That's 205-337-4443. Golston's licensed pros. They handle everything from trimming and pruning to full tree removals. It's fast, it's safe, it's affordable. Don't wait until the next storm causes damages. Call Golston Tree Service today, 205-337-4443.
It is pretty remarkable just to look at the 2018 SEC Championship game on one of the TVs in our studio. And just from, without even studying it, looking at the bodies, looking at how open it looks like just a totally different product, does it not? Alabama 2018 versus maybe what we just got, 2025?
There's no question.
But it's a great reminder of just how dominant Alabama was in that tenure.
It was unbelievable. I mean, one of the packages they were running a minute ago, it was Najee Harris and Josh Jacobs.
That was your 1-2.
That was your 1-2. I mean, they were both in the backfield together, and Tua was in the shotgun. I mean, it was.
And then the wide receivers that they have. And then you go to the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. And it's just NFL today, who's who.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Conrad's crying in the other room. Thinking of you.
We tried to tell you, Conrad, tried to tell you. And so many others that it would end.
I think it's best that he's not in here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be getting ticked off by watching that.
I've got Alabama in that game.
Had a little drama there in the back end.
I've got faith.
A little bit of drama.
That's going to be the second half of the movie one day, whenever they make that.
Yeah. That'd be big time.
You feel good about Alabama this year then?
He likes the 9 wins.
I'm right there with Mike.
Yeah, him and Mike Rodak, 9 wins for Alabama.
So what was... You were down on Alabama. Alabama gets in the college football playoff, so you were okay with that, and I agree. That was all right. You checked the box.
Yeah,
you met expectations.
Won a game.
Yep. Then you were. It felt like maybe your fervor had dropped a good bit during the transfer portal. You were less than blown away by the guy from Carson Newman that they were looking at for so long. Concordia State, wherever it was.
Yes, correct.
Now I feel like you're going, and then there was some hope, and now that we're getting recruiting news, you're back into your dark place.
No, I think that 9-3 is, in the context of college football, a solid season. In the context of Alabama football, it's a disappointing season. But I think that's a realistic place to be without having seen the product on the field, because there's a lot of concerns. But if you're somebody that is really optimistic, I can see why you're really optimistic. I can also see why people are very pessimistic. I'd say I'm kind of in the middle. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be competitive, but I don't think they can probably win a championship.
So you think they'll be like several other teams in the SEC?
Yeah.
Good, competitive.
Until we see the product on the field. That's where I'm at.
Will that be enough?
Hopefully enough for 9 wins. Well, hopefully enough for 10 wins, but we'll see.
Or to prompt somebody to write a big old check.
It's going to be a big check. I don't think that check's going to be written for a couple of years.
All right, so last night we had round 1 of the NBA draft. I almost said NFL. NBA draft. We will not see Sorsby in the NFL draft anytime soon. Yes, Bama's LeBaron Philon. Big night. He was taken 22nd by the 76ers. But how about UAB grad? Yaxel Lindeborg. He goes 11th to the Warriors. There was a social media post by Jason McIntyre, and he had posted that there was a lot of bit of debate in regards to who they wanted to take at Golden State, whether they really wanted to take Yax or not. It was kind of split in between who they wanted to potentially draft, but he ends up going 11th to the Warriors. So that was big for him to go there. The NCAA, they are wrapping up their D1 council meeting as we speak. We got news yesterday that they will officially adopt the age-based eligibility structure, giving players 5 years to play 5 seasons from either when they enroll or from the season when they turn 19. Existing players are still protected under the old rules, including 25-year-old Alabama kicker Lorcan Quinn and 7th-year defensive lineman Kendrick Bingley Jones and Jamarian Latham. So those are some names to keep your eye on if this thing passes. NFLs, we talked about yesterday, good details that they will not have a supplemental draft, meaning Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby will not be eligible to enter the league in 2026. Sorsby will be eligible to enter the 2027 NFL draft. Very fascinating listening to a lot of different opinions. Sorsby's attorney, he goes scorched earth yesterday afternoon. It's kind of funny to me, Conrad, how they said that they're going to sue and go to court to try to stop the NFL because they violated the collective bargaining agreement. Well, where did I miss that Brendan Sorsby is a member of the National Football League Players Association? Did I miss that part?
No, you didn't. And that's just one of the many, I guess, humorous angles that you could take with the story as a whole. Because, yeah, I mean, that's a great point there, right? It's, okay, well, we think this is a violation of the CBA. Great. Well, the collective bargaining agreement pertains to NFL players.
He's not an NFL player.
You're not a college football player or an NFL player at this point in time. Then you dig a little deeper. You find out that his attorney is somebody that's actually represented the NFL Players Association in the past. So he does have familiarity there, but it's just kind of funny how you've got the multiple sides of the coin there. But I personally really enjoyed, I think through all of the noise and all of the concerns that I'm sure Brendan Sorsby is very stressed out right now. Thought it was very nice of Mike Rapoli to go on Twitter yesterday and
funny.
Extend an invitation to Brendan Sorsby to join the Dallas Renegades.
That was very nice. I would have been a little bit, happier if he had put the Houston Gamblers on there.
Yes,
It's so fitting.
Yeah,
So perfect.
the T-shirts I would buy a T-shirt.
Do we have the Schefter, what he said?
Yes, we do.
So Adam Schefter, who we all agree, one of the top NFL insiders, he went on his podcast last night and he talked about Sorsby and talked about why Sorsby and the NFL could not come to terms.
The league was unwilling to investigate the situation. The league didn't trust him and the situation. And the league, frankly, doesn't want any part of gambling. We've seen the league crack down on players who have placed bets, gambled, fantasy, DFS, whatever it may be. The league has no tolerance for people who are involved in gambling. And it's also a perception thing. They don't want to be associated with somebody that's been gambling. So why, in the league's eyes, should the league make an exception for a player who is admitted to betting on his own team, even if he was in a dorm room while his team was playing on the road? The league isn't looking to bend rules and create space for a player who is admitted to something that the league frowns upon.
I said it yesterday when this came out and that he was not going to be a part of a supplemental draft. To me, it just sounded like the NFL privately, they said, you know what? We're going to ban this guy for 1 year. We're just not going to have a supplemental draft. This is his punishment. 1 year. If you play nice, you don't have, fall back into your bad habits, maybe you'll be available in the 2027 NFL draft. But to me, it was the league saying, not happening. You broke all the ethics that we're trying to uphold here. We're done. Come back in a year.
Well, it's up to Brendan Sorsby, whoever he's going to play for. If he wants to keep playing football, he's going to have to prove himself. So he's going to. It's on him to submit to the NFL. But I said it originally. Why would the NFL? The NFL is so big. Why would the NFL compromise what they stand for? How they're
not for him
publicly. They're not going to do it for him. They're not going to do it for a lot of guys.
Yeah, it would be a different story if it was, somebody with the name and the brand and maybe the talent of like an Arch Manning or somebody like that, right? Like that's, somebody that you want to be a part of your league more so than somebody like Brendan Sorsby. I also think another part of it is...
But there is no player with this background, Conrad, sorry to interrupt, but there's no player that they were going to allow.
No, I agree with
anybody.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But I also think with the NFL, right, they have a lot of great partnerships with these gambling services, with these casinos and things like that, and you want to preserve that image, because the worst thing you can do, right, is give off the illusion that a game is fixed or a game is rigged.
Or play into the funny narrative that you're scripting your season.
Correct. And you want to maintain those relationships with those companies that are spending a lot of money on advertising the NFL product. And the last thing you're going to do is jeopardize that for anybody, let alone somebody like Brendan Sorsby. So they're protecting themselves, but they're also protecting their pocketbooks and the companies that they're in bed with.
You know, and speaking of integrity, a very interesting story came out this morning in the New York Times. And what's so weird about this is that the New York Times did a deep dive on Dianna Russini, and some of the headlines that have come out about Russini, including her $800,000 a year contract, which is, wow, that's crazy in its own right. But New York Times, that owns The Athletic, did their own investigation of the situation with Dianna Russini. And I know many of you might not have access to behind the paywall, but I'm going to give you a couple of the highlights or lowlights, depending on which view you want to take on this, of Dianna Russini. As I mentioned, $800,000 a year. That was her salary at The Athletic. So as part of The Athletic's review of Dianna Russini, they looked into Dianna's involvement in a January 2025 article inside Mike Vrabel's Year Off, a 4,000-word article written by Zach Rosenblatt. Supposedly, Russini brokered the deal for this 4,000-word article. So basically, she was being the publicist for Mike Vrabel and got this article written. Members of Vrabel's Titans coaching staff, they were present when Russini and Vrabel was the night at the casino at the roulette table when all those pictures started coming out. So the Titans coaches knew all about Russini and Vrabel. Russini was given time to respond to the Sedona photos, but did not tell the Athletic executives about the Sedona photos right away. Instead, they warned it off a few hours before the Post's deadline to Russini. You know, the Post gave Russini a deadline. Say, hey, listen, you need to give us a comment.
Right.
Or we're going to go ahead and publish those pictures. So those are kind of held back from her bosses at The Athletic. The Athletic wasn't given all the Sedona photos, as I mentioned, before they publicly supported Russini, meaning Russini either held additional photos back or just completely lied to her bosses. Russini didn't alert editors to any conflicts of interest with Vrabel. This is another interesting part. A friend told the New York Times, now this is a friend of Russini, that she resigned because she saw an opportunity to re-image her career and spend more time with her children. So she resigned because she believed that she could, I guess, resurrect her career and then just go spend time with her family.
Okay.
A former ESPN ombudsman said Vrabel and Russini were operating very flagrantly for many years.
You think she loves him?
I don't know. That's a great question.
So 2 weeks before the Sedona photos were taken, Russini used an interview she did with Vrabel as an example of getting a subject to open up in a room full of New York Times executives. She joked, "What is wrong with Vrabel? What is wrong with the Kraft family for hiring this man?" That's what she said to all the New York Times bosses when she was using it as an example of how, as a journalist, you get people to open up for interviews.
Or if you want to relax as a speaker, they say, imagine everyone in the audience naked.
He didn't have to imagine.
No. Russini told the Post that the Sedona trip was a girls' trip, but didn't provide any photos with any friends or receipts over the next couple days. So she had no proof whatsoever.
Yeah, because it wasn't a girls' trip.
Correct.
And I really hope her husband was all up on this.
So Russini and Vrabel, according to the New York Times, they worked together to coordinate their response about the photos. She was pulled over by a police officer for texting and driving.
This is so good.
And called the head coach of the cops' favorite team to get out of the ticket.
It reminds me of Wimp with the paper picture.
So
it's an old play, but a good one.
So she calls Vrabel and says, "Hey, I'm about to get a ticket, honey, because I'm sitting here texting and driving. Would you mind talking to this officer and getting me out of the ticket?"
So it was Vrabel? Oh my gosh.
Tighten up.
New York Times also said it was the second time presently she got pulled over for texting and driving, and it was an abuse of professional access for personal gain. A friend also said Russini served as an unofficial advisor to Vrabel as he looked for a job the offseason after he was fired. So she was basically doing PR marketing, and she was his Indeed representative trying to get him a job. So that is...
When are we getting the Sorsby Russini podcast?
Soon. But the fact that she got pulled over, and she used the card of, hey,
I'm just profiling. I think
I know your favorite
I think
coach.
she's in love with him. This relationship has been going on.
It's been going for years.
It's a long time, yeah.
Links you go to, you're trying to do what you can for your boo and his career.
And apparently she was also upset at how, when he comes back to the Patriots and he gets up and he does his thing.
Oh, he threw her under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, boat rentals at this obscure Tennessee lake have never been better. What's that guy? Is this the place where they did the boat ride? Yeah, we'll take it out. That guy's killing it right now.
Oh, yeah.
But just please keep in mind the fact that the New York Times, that owns The Athletic, just wrote a story that made someone that they were paying $800,000
their
a
highest
year.
paid employees, yeah.
She was one of the highest paid employees in that company. I'm talking about even some of their Pulitzer Prize winning potential writers for the New York Times. She got paid more than they did. And guess what? The Athletic was also in the process of renegotiating her contract before all this happened. So you can tell that this was kind of a hatchet job by somebody in the New York Times. Said, you know what? This is absolutely ridiculous. We're going to expose all this. Even though it's going to make our company look really bad because we're paying someone $800,000 that was supposed to be bringing people to the website through subscriptions, and that she was going to break stories and break news in the NFL. But then she becomes the story.
What a story it has been. Do we ever get the full story?
You just wonder the day that she will absolutely come clean.
Mm-hmm.
And when she does that.
Yeah.
Better hope Vrabel wins a Lombardi in Foxborough.
As long as he's winning there, I think that's the thing. He's fine. She's untouchable, I think, I would think most media entities right now.
Who's going to hire her? Because most people believe that whatever breaking news story she had,
whatever journalistic integrity she had, has now been thrown out the window.
It's the same thing with Brendan Sorsby. How many people are going to be able to allow him to be your quarterback and he throws a bad interception and all of a sudden in your mind you're going, wow, did he do that on purpose or was that by complete accident? Or if Dianna Russini breaks a story about a head coach in the NFL.
Is she sleeping with a guy? Or?
All of a sudden it's like, okay, where did she get this information?
Information was accurate. All things considered.
So
she get really good information.
She had really good information. She's got to open up sometimes.
I'm very vulnerable too. Like pillow talk. Just open up. Tell it all. 3-man front. We got questions from Pat. We'll try to answer. Pat Ponder's on the way. 125. See what you did there, Conrad. Three-man front as we continue. More of your text and Pat Ponders on the way momentarily.
Well, summer is here, so whether it's date night or family time, everyone will love Big Whiskeys. They have a full menu that has something for everyone. They have a great outdoor patio and a great putting green with a game area, and it's wonderful for these summer evenings that we have. So go see them in their newest location off Highway 119 at 280 near Publix or in the Stadium Trace Village.
The Atlanta Braves, they lose again last night to the San Diego Padres. Braves had built a 4-0 lead. The Padres come back to win. The Braves have now lost 6 straight to the Padres. They're in San Diego, but at least last night they scored some runs. Back at it tonight. You'll have the Thursday off day and try to get back on the winning side of things. But the Braves have been dreadful in the last, let's just say, almost 15 games. Even some of the games they've won have been really, really bad. That's your Braves report.
So you mentioned that we've had this game on.
Yes, it's 21-7.
It's 21-7 Georgia.
I will give you all of my life savings on Alabama coming back and winning that football game. I'll put it all on Alabama.
I forgot that Alabama had 2 turnovers in the red zone.
It's a terrible first half.
I mean, Tua threw an interception on the end on the goal line, and Josh Jacobs fumbled on the 1-yard line going in.
That's how good they were. You overcome those kind of mistakes.
Yeah. I was never nervous in that game.
You were like, we got Jalen Hurts on the sideline. We've got Mac Jones on the sideline.
I mean, it's
no big deal.
You got 2 NFL All-Pro teams.
Jake Fromm. What'd that guy ever win? I will say, going back to that game, there was definitely that feeling of like, this is just meant to be, right? With the way that the Tua thing had happened the year before, and then when Jalen came back in, you're like, it's like a destiny. It was a fate thing.
Now you pray for 100 yards rushing on a Saturday.
God, what does that look like?
Isn't it crazy?
That what did they average, like 102 yards last year rushing?
It used to be how many mistakes can we make against a good team and still win a football game? That was entertaining. Now it's, can we get 100 yards? Just on the ground, 100 yards.
Yeah. It's a little different now.
That was a different day.
Landrum, it's a different philosophy, a different mindset. You wouldn't understand it. It's an experimental.
As long as all of these 3 stars, they project out like Josh Jacobs as a 3-star, then
Mac Jones was a 3-star kid, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. He was just a depth piece.
Yeah.
When he signed at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that ended up ruling it a touchdown. It was a fumble, but apparently Jacobs got the ball back and broke the plane.
Yeah, he's a pro.
It's a Ken Williamson game.
So now it's 21-14.
It's a Ken Williamson
by the way,
game.
Alabama averaged 104 yards rushing a game.
That's honestly more than I remembered.
LSU was right below Alabama.
It could have been more. They just chose to throw it more because they were that good.
You're talking about last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. LSU was dead last in the conference in rushing yards per game. Bama was next to last.
So we were better running the football last year than we are recruiting right now.
Correct.
I just made someone really mad by saying that.
And listen to Lane, LSU is getting better.
They're going to win national championship.
Of course they are.
So they're trending in a different direction.
But you see what Alabama proved, because Alabama was next to last in the SEC in rushing, and Auburn was 5th best in rushing. Auburn didn't go bowl game.
No.
Yep. They also didn't get embarrassed in a bowl game.
It doesn't matter how many yards you get, it's how many points you put up on the scoreboard.
I've heard that is a good indicator of if you're going to win or not.
It is.
Scoring points.
Yeah. I don't know if the same could be said for love. Probably want to have some different advice there. Maybe we work in reverse order.
Rushing yards and then points when it comes to love.
Points are important, but the process is very important as well.
The process is very important.
Yeah. Pat's got questions. We'll try to answer those questions. Pat Ponders on the way next on 3-Man Front. A mistake-riddled SEC championship game so far for Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Running into the kicker. Are you kidding me? That's Kamara. He was a ESPN top 100 player entering this season one year. Or was that Rodrigo Blankenship? Maybe it was Rodrigo Blankenship.
Does he have the goggles on?
Update on the SEC championship game from the 2018 season. Georgia leading Alabama 21-14, a minute to go in the second quarter.
You know where Rodrigo lives now?
Trustful.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, because he posts those videos of him training for the NFL.
Coach Floyd had no idea.
He didn't?
No. It's like somebody said, hey, you realize Rodrigo's like doing TikToks out here on the field? And he goes, what? Yeah. I mean, he didn't care.
No?
It was, yeah, Rodrigo.
Does he have some extra time to tutor one of your kickers? You guys got kickers this year?
Now we got a few. Yeah.
Okay. Might not be bad. He'd probably be willing to help out. But Alabama's still trailing and making all kinds of mistakes. But Conrad feels good about it. Like,
yeah, he bet the house on the second half.
Yeah, you can bet the house. We're going to do this every day. Pat comes up with questions. We have no idea what they're going to be. It's a segment we like to call Pat Ponders.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
Okay, question number one. You're consulting Brendan Sorsby on his next steps to play in the NFL. What are you recommending for him to do between now and the draft in 2027?
I think transparency. I think that obviously what you're doing with your mental health program and whatever that program looks like to make sure you're abstaining from gambling, but I would be transparent about it. I would open up my heart, and I think that people appreciate someone who owns up to their mistakes, and yeah, just share your heart. I think that's the best course of action here in the next calendar year for Brendan Sorsby and his future.
Yeah, some form of community service, something like that, to get the public image out there that you're trying to use this as good for other people. But on the athletic side of things, I am not touching a football field until next April, because injury or the whole UFL conversation, like as fun as it would be to watch him play in the UFL, the reality is for Brendan Sorsby, if you go to the UFL and you are not the best quarterback that we've seen in the last 5 years of spring football leagues, you're going to damage your draft grade for the NFL draft. Because if you go out there with a bad offensive line or a bad receiver core or a bad offensive coordinator, it's only going to damage your stock. So I would train, do all that great stuff, do some community service, and suck it up till April.
With that community service, and we've seen, past athletes and others do this, maybe not like a tour, but maybe just be open and honest and transparent about what happened and kind of use that as an opportunity for this to be a teaching lesson to other student athletes. Like maybe invite them to a couple of other campuses, be like, hey, this happened to me. You see how it's affected my career and my draft stock. Like, don't let my case affect you as well. Like, don't let me be an example for you in the future. So kind of taking that in the offseason, then maybe joining the UFL.
That's why I went back and saying be transparent, but it's like be uncomfortably transparent if you'll allow yourself to do that, and your thought process and how big of an addiction, because there's still some people who question whether this is truly a mental illness or he was using that as a ploy to try to get back and get in the good graces in the NCAA. Walk people through that day of firing in 100 times on various things. Like how did that help you cope with things? I don't know if that ever helps him get on the NFL field, but I think that would help him moving forward, because where you are right now, I don't know what the financials look like. It's not a good situation. You squandered a lot of opportunities.
All right, question number 2. I gave you guys a list of sporting events. If you'll look at your phone. I'm going to give you 8 major sporting events, 2 groups of 4. You can pick only one group to watch for the rest of your life. The other 4 you will never watch again in your lifetime. Which group are you choosing? Group A, you have the Masters, Major League Baseball postseason, college football playoff, and NHL playoffs. That's in one group. The other group is NFL playoffs, March Madness, NBA playoffs, and World Cup. So which group, Group A or Group B, are you taking to watch for the rest of your life and the others never to see again?
Masters is near and dear to my heart. College football playoff, obviously. Major League Baseball postseason, if my Braves are in it, fine, but I'm usually checked out by then. NHL playoffs, my buddies who bet a lot, they really enjoy the NHL during playoff season. I would hate to do away with March Madness in the NFL playoffs, but yeah, I'm going to have to take Group A. I will go Masters, Major League Baseball postseason, college football playoff, and the NHL playoffs.
Yeah, Group A. The only two teams I care about are in Group A, so I can't give up. And I'm with you. It would suck. I think I'd rather. I love the NFL, but man, I might rather give that up than March Madness. Honestly, it'd be tough to give both of those things up, but
March Madness would sting the most.
Yeah, that one hurts.
Yeah.
But my two rooting interests are in Group A.
So you going Group A or B, Molly?
I'm probably going to pick A just because college football is my absolute favorite, and I love the Masters too. I like watching the MLB postseason. I actually love the NHL playoffs. I think that's really fun time to watch hockey, especially if you don't watch throughout the regular season. But like getting rid of March Madness
And the Super Bowl.
that
One more
would
Super Bowl.
sting, yeah. So I guess Group A.
Yeah, World Cup, you only get that every so often.
Yeah.
I'm just going to rewatch this year's World Cup because we're taking it all the way.
Question number 3. If you could pick one former Alabama player to deliver the game ball before kickoff in Tuscaloosa and one former Auburn player to do the same at Jordan-Hare, who are your choices?
I'm just trying to think of like anyone that's alive that can come back.
Absolutely. You're, as you know, because you've been in Tuscaloosa enough, you know, they bring out the game ball, they fire the crowd up.
I know.
It's the emotional before the game, the kickoff before the teams come out.
I'm trying to think.
Give me an Alabama player and an Auburn player if you were doing the choosing.
I think right now, just in terms of who would fire the crowd up the most.
I know who mine would be for Alabama.
I think
Who?
I'd pick.
I go Landon Dickerson.
It's a good one.
I think I'd pick. Can I pick Bo for Auburn, or does that have to be a current player?
Pick whoever's alive you want to
Sweet.
come bring the football.
I'm thinking about getting the crowd into it, probably saying some things that you've got the audio guy on standby.
Yeah.
Would you want Tua?
No, I would. It would be either Julio or Derrick Henry.
Ooh, Derrick
Like just
Henry is
who would
good.
get people. I think Julio would get people really rowdy
Mm-hmm.
for Alabama. That would probably be mine for them. And then for Auburn, I don't want to pick Cam. That seems too easy because maybe Cadillac. I think with him and just the fanfare from him taking over as the coach, and I still think that would resonate.
I'll take Derrick Henry and Bo, respectively.
I'll take Julio and Cadillac.
Yeah, I was thinking somebody off that 2014. I'll go Ronnie Brown. Yeah.
Who'd you say for Alabama?
Landon Dickerson.
Landon Dickerson. Okay.
I think that he could get you fired up.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right before you kick it? Yeah.
Question number 4. Signal and Slate Insights, a social media research company, recently detailed the most frequent physical location for social media consumption. The top location was on one's couch, followed by the bed, and third was during your commute to work. Work location was 4th, and in the bathroom rounded out the top 5.
I thought that was going to be number 1 or 2, honestly.
Yeah, it's number 5. What location do you consume the most of your social media?
It would be in here.
Yeah, I mean,
At work.
I think it would be in this room.
It'd either be at work or in the morning when I wake up with coffee.
Because I stay on our socials when I'm in here, and then when I get home, I'll like maybe check my phone on the couch. But overall, I'd say here.
Couch, commode.
Don't say church.
I don't know. I'm very good. I don't get on my phone at church. Here, I guess. Actually, that's a lie. It would be here. I'm not on the toilet that much, but when I am on the toilet, 100% of the time I'm on social media, making sure I didn't miss anything.
Do you ever find yourself sitting on the toilet longer than you were actually intended to be there because you're studying social media so much?
A day or two ago, Paige at one point was like, "Are you okay? Like, why are you still in there?" I was like, "Oh, sorry, I was reading."
I finished like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was reading an article. Then you got those red marks on your knees from where your elbows, have been posted up on your knees, and you got those. Ooh, I have been here for a minute. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Left foot starts going to sleep.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Honey, what was that? Sorry, I couldn't feel my leg.
Oh, those my knee pads.
Yeah.
What about you, Pat?
It would definitely be my office.
At home.
Yes.
Not here. Yeah.
No, I'm not here in my office here enough. But no, it would definitely be there. Yeah, it did surprise me. I was like you. I did not believe that couch was number 1, but bathroom was number 5.
And the phones in so many different areas, but when you're trying to find a gas pump, it's open and you go up there all occupied, and then you realize some people were never getting gas.
They're just sitting in their phone.
In the shade looking on their phones. One guy was asleep. No kidding. I had to wake him up out of a dead sleep, which is always a little bit tricky. I know how I am out of a dead sleep. But yeah, he was just taking a break.
Like in his car at the gas pump, just sleeping.
Which is really tough when you're about to run out of gas and there's no pumps open. But it's a good idea. Just go park in a broken car wash.
Now, if I'm in a gas station bathroom, I'm not on my phone because I'm trying to get out of there as quickly as possible.
But always take your phone in there just in case there's a situation you got to call 911.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's today's Pat Ponders.
That's where most kidnappings occur. Truck stop bathrooms, Conrad.
Really?
No.
I would have believed that.
I sold it, though.
I would have believed it.
Yeah. The worst thing I've seen. We'll do it next. The worst thing that Conrad has seen coming up. Stark Exterminators, family owned for over 62 years. That's who we trust at the Roberts House. They can take care of you now. The warmer weather, the stinging, flying insects, the pests that can be inside of your house. Hopefully not, but they can actually end up on your family, biting, and then the itching, the scratching, all of that. It's just not fun. How about our friends at Stark? Right now, all of our great Jocks listeners, you call, set up the free home or business pest inspection, 855-START now. Go to starkexterminators.com. When you do, one of their talented team members will come out to your home, assess the situation like Alex did at ours, tell us we're good to go, and then he will go outside the property, walk the perimeter. There's no stone unturned. They care about what they do. That's why they've been family-owned and in business for over 62 years. Stark Exterminators, 855-START now, or go to starkexterminators.com. When you do so, tell them Landrum from Three Man Front and Jocks sent you. Conrad sees good. He sees bad. Who knows what he's seen today? This is the worst thing that Conrad has seen.
This is the worst thing I've seen.
Been in quarantine, and I need to get out and party. Woo! What's better than beach and a few drinks and Jeeps? Man, it can't get better than that. Law enforcement's definitely made their visitability and made people chill out and not be as crazy. The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
All right, well, shout out to one of our wonderful listeners that actually shared this story with us earlier on in the program and said, man, this is a perfect fit for the worst thing that I've seen. So we're going to head on over to Charleston, South Carolina. And we're all familiar with the Citadel, right? The university. Yes. And their football program. We've seen them here in the state before. Well, recently, construction workers were installing new drainage under part of the Citadel's Johnson Haygood Stadium when they uncovered roughly 50 grave sites featuring human remains under the stadium. So, according to this story, the college plans to exhume and re-enter the remains nearby on the south side of the stadium, based on some city ordinance from all the way back in 2004. Back in that year, so 22 years ago, more than 300 graves were uncovered near the athletic facility during another construction project. So, the stadium was built for the Citadel back in 1927, so it's almost 100 years old, on top of Tower Hill Cemetery, where more than 26,000 people were buried between 1841 and 1927.
Wow.
That's pretty wild. So the stadium construction was halted back on May the 15th when the initial set of human remains were discovered. They then found up to 50 different grave sites under the location of the football facility, and certainly not something that a construction crew, hopefully they told them, like, hey, just so you know.
And hopefully know the families, descendants of these folks, they know that their family members are buried there.
I would hope so. So here's a little fun fact for you about Charleston. The story goes, the discovery of human remains is not uncommon in Charleston. 54,000 people have been buried in paupers' graves in successive public cemeteries between 1672 and 1927. So I guess if you live in Charleston, you just be finding bodies when you're digging in the ground.
What if they find Jimmy Hoffa under there?
Maybe so. It's a good question. But that is
where's the grave digger play when you need it?
Badoonch. Yeah. That was good.
If you follow Citadel football, they don't have many of those plays.
No, they don't. But
they got a good conversation piece when your team's getting beat.
Absolutely.
49-0 in the fourth quarter. You'd be like, yeah, well, there's 50 bodies underneath that field right there.
How many you got? None. Well, thanks to our listener, though, for passing that along. That was very interesting.
Yeah, thanks to all of our listeners, all your interaction. Appreciate all the text, all of our guests, Brian Edwards, Mike Gittins, Mike Rodak, Tyler McComas from the great state of Oklahoma. All of that found, Three Man Front Podcast, JocksFM.com. From all of us to all of you, have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Be safe out there, and always remember, God is great.